Let me see if I can do that like that. Yeah.
Do you want us like looking into the?
Yeah. I mean, you can look here. You can look at me. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as
Just talking to the mic.
you're making good choices about what you say.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't fuck this up for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I swear I got a lot riding on this.
In advance, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're not gonna mess any part of this up. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am very excited to bring you our first guest here today. This is a gentleman who I have had a huge appreciation of not only his work inside of the Octagon, but outside of it as well. Nice human being, always smiling, always positive, to the point where when he won at the UFC just this past weekend, he started by saying he wanted to shout out Jesus, then thought about it and said, do you shout out Jesus or do you just say thank you to Jesus?
I feel like Jesus would, after further thinking about it, he would appreciate a shout out. So I think because I like reposted like, that little thing and I put hashtag shout out to Jesus because you know what? Yeah.
You are shouting out Jesus and you should. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabe Green, everybody. Hey,
what's up, guys?
Congratulations on your win. There was nobody happier than me. I mean, I'm sure there were, but in this gym.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Here's what happened. I was cleaning the mats. We had an open mat and I forgot that it was an early fight. So I was like, oh God, let me make sure I'm cleaning everything, get everything, all these things set. And then somebody mentioned, they're like, are there fights tonight? I was like, Gabe, get my cell phone, literally mopping the mats like this. And I'm like, concerned when I need to be concerned, happy when I need to be happy. And no one else is in this gym. But cut to me when the good parts happen, going, let's go, let's go. And I'm like by myself. No one else is hearing me, but I was cheering by myself in this room. So
it was for sure like a roller coaster of emotions going on. I mean, did you see the video I posted of my family?
Bro, I was so happy to see that. So who filmed that?
So my girlfriend was like, I have a good idea. I'm going to put this camera right here. And then boom, she caught like really like the greatest thing ever, just the reaction to the whole thing. So
let me tell you my fear. You're a good fighter, so wins happen for you. I'm so nervous for me that if someone had done that for me, they're like, well, I'm going to put up a camera. You know what, guys? The food's great. Things didn't go well.
Just kind of delete that. And wasn't someone recording? No one was recording that.
But you're right, because when I saw that, it was such a wholesome, beautiful moment that, you know, you can't bring everybody to the Apex Center. So you can't have everybody with you. And yeah, you're getting a little bit of a crowd back again. Yeah.
Which was nice. A little bit was amazing. But I mean, yeah, having them there would be so much better.
So was that your mom and your family?
So yeah, it was I mean, yeah, so we're fighting out in Vegas. They were trying to get tickets, but it was like just the VIP package. So it was like $1,800, something like that. So I was like, guys, how about you just like get a room if you really want to spend money on a room, and then just watch it together, and then I'll be out, and then we can go, eat or something, So yeah, it was my mom, my dad, a couple of my aunts and uncles, and then some cousins. Yeah, it was like, and then my godparents' brother and sister. My godparent had a little bit of a eye operation done last week, so she wasn't able to make it out. Oh no! But yeah. So I mean, I'm so lucky to have like the support system I have. Like absolutely blessed. Like it's like real wholesome. Like sometimes you have those friends who are like, I'm rooting for you, but they don't want you to root for them in life to do better than them.
Oh God! I know they exist, but that sucks.
Yeah. So like I'm lucky to surround myself with people who genuinely just want to see me succeed.
And as they should, because like I said, dude, like, we've only interviewed a few times. We've had interactions a bunch through social media, but you've been nothing but nice for me. So it's hard to not root for you. But
thank you.
At the same point, like, I could feel their energy. I could feel that. Did you know that was going to happen, and when did you find out that footage existed?
No, I had no idea that they were gonna film it. So yeah, when they told me like, oh, you got to see this video. I'm like, this is a video like we recorded when you won. I was like, and I just like, yeah, I could feel like the smile just like getting like, because especially at the end, because it's like that little like, it's like the turnaround in the fight, you know, and then he like goes to the wall, and then I'm really turning it on him, and then he drops, and it's like my dad is like in his seat, and he's like slowly getting up, like dropping a beer, and then finally and then when the ref weighs it off, everyone just. It was
the eruption that happens on it. It looked amazing. I laughed so hard because if you're brown, you know how your family can get, and sometimes they don't know fight things, but they know you won.
Yeah.
So they're like, you knocked them out real good job. But like they want to feel something. They want to make sure you win. They want to make sure you're safe. So that had to be pretty great. Okay, we have to get into a few things. There's so many different areas I want to go into. We're going to explore the fight in a different video. So if you guys want to see that, go to premium. But I want to start with this. On the broadcast, they mentioned you had a bruised heart. Now, I know a pretty good deal of things about you. But when I heard that on the telecast, I was like, bro, no. Yeah. I was so concerned, but you mentioned it was kind of good that it did happen. So do you mind kind of explaining what that means?
Yeah, so getting a bruised heart, never necessarily a great thing to happen to anyone. You know, it was a pretty scary event. All of a sudden, I got hit in the heart while I was training, and literally felt like my heart stalled, like it turned off. Took a knee, was like the ego in me was like, get up, you know, like you're good, you know. But I was like, you know what? Let me go to the doctor. Let me play it safe. Let me go to the doctor just because, you know, it felt so weird and it was in the chest. So I was thinking maybe I just kind of, popped a rib or something.
Okay.
Like I didn't hear anything pop, but I was like, but it was so tight and everything was like, So I was like, it was really weird. So I go to the hospital. They do some blood work on me. It turns out troponins in my blood, and your heart releases that when it's been damaged. So everyone's not that they're freaking out, but like they're like, it goes from, because I was handling it pretty well when I was in there, shortness of breath, but like I was pretty chill. So, but then once they saw that I had troponin levels, and I guess they're pretty high, that they were just like, oh, like this is more serious than they even thought it was, because the way I was like acting when I was in there. It's like, because I was like, I'm like joking around kind of still. I go to the ambulance, and also like they're like, we're gonna take an ambulance for you to go from the urgent care to the hospital. And I was like, you know, like I don't know if I can afford that. You're gonna give me a real heart attack, you know? It's expensive. But like they're like, no, it's protocols. Are you sure I can walk? You know, I'm feeling. They're like, no, you have to jump in there. So they jump in there, and then they have an oxygen tank on me and stuff like that. And like the EMT was a little bit of like a bigger dude, and he was like struggling to breathe. I was like, you good? He didn't think it was that funny, but you know, like that's just like my personality. You know, I'm like whatever. And then we get to the actual hospital, and they do EKGs and all kinds of heart stuff, testing it, and they're just checking my blood every couple hours to make sure that they want the troponin levels to go down, but they just kept on going up, and they're just like they're not going down yet. You know, like you're staying. And I was just like, so then like, yeah, every couple hours they would wake me up and just check and I'm like, it's COVID is going on, you know? So I'm I can't, like my parents can't be there. No one's there. So I'm just like texting my family like, yeah, everything's fine. You know, I'll probably see you in a little bit, you know, I'm chilling. I'll let you know when I'm out. But on the inside, I'm like, damn, you know, this might be it. This might be the thing that gets me. Luckily, you know, like I stay in the hospital for a bit, and the troponin levels finally go down. So they're like, all right, you know, like they're going down like they're supposed to. They're not escalating anymore. You can go home. So they discharge me and everything. They just take it easy, relax. You know, don't even like my primary calls me like a couple days later just to check on me. She's like, yeah, don't watch scary movies. She's like, don't get too excited with your girlfriend. I started laughing. I'm like, she's like, no, but like seriously, like let your heart legitimately relax. And I was just like, oh man. So, you know, I'm not training for a little bit, and had to pull out of my fight because this happened in September, and it was the fight was scheduled for October, I believe, is what it was supposed to be. So by then, it's a couple weeks. I'm still not really training, but my grandma had dementia and a brain tumor, and she started like just going down fast, like out of nowhere, and crazy because super religious. You never know why things are gonna happen, and I'm thinking like, man, I love the matchup. I felt like I really was gonna like bring it to this guy, and then all of a sudden I couldn't fight. But what ended up happening was that fight week when I would have been gone was the last week that my grandma was around. So I got to spend that last week with her that I wouldn't have otherwise. So and she ended up passing after. So that was where I even got to her when she was still like she could recognize me. And then so it was just if I would have been not the heart would have been fine, I would have been out there, and it would have been hard to focus anyways. But yeah, it's crazy that since I got a bruised heart of all things, I got to spend one more week with my grandma before she passed.
Well, my condolences,
Thank you.
First and foremost. But it's weird because of the amount of sacrifice you have to do as a fighter, so that even this is kind of an involuntary one that you're doing, that it's actually a better sacrifice to give up the fight, because in exchange you did get that time with your family. Whereas most times for most fighters, you hear the story of, well, they passed, I'm in fight camp, I gotta win, I'm gonna dedicate it to them. Puts even more stress, which probably doesn't go well with the doctor's orders of take it easy. So that is oddly, as you mentioned it, you were kind of it was good and bad. I was like, we'll save it for here. I don't want to know, but man, what a lot to actually have to ingest as that's happening. So I'm glad you got to spend that time. Obviously, you're a guy who you always want to get back out there. So I knew when, I listened to a couple of the other shows that you were on, which, by the way,
it's okay. Look, guys, I have a management team, and
don't blame them.
And they're like, "Gabe, these are your interviews set up." I'm like, "All right," and I'm just like, "Look," I'm like, "Where's Raph?" But he's just no Raph.
Let me sidebar with the management team. Hi, if you haven't enjoyed the first 10 minutes of this,
that's an exclusive.
Just
no one even knows about.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, but again, so that full disclosure here, this is how I operate. We have a fairly decent dynamic. I can't do this to most guests. But when I saw you on other shows, I don't try to bug people as soon as they win. I try to be like, hey, you're going to get inundated. I'll see you. But I was like, you know what? You're close enough. I would travel out to go see you. I was like, interview? And you got back. And I was like, damn, he's got time to message me back. And before I know it, I'm like, all right, I'll give him a day because it's his birthday, which, by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And then all of a sudden, I see you on other shows. And I said, oh.
They hit me up and they were like, we got interviews for you on Monday. I was like, low-key, Monday's my birthday. I'm not interviewing. After I was like, I'll do Tuesday, though. And then, that's my first one was on
It's
Tuesday.
a code of conduct. I really, when it's somebody's birthday, especially after they fight, it's hard to tell someone, hi, I'm more important.
Yeah.
Especially after you fight.
I totally would have. If you wanted me to get interviewed on Monday, if you would have been like, let me interview on Monday, I'd have been like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't roll that way. And you know what? This is better because we've never done one in person.
True.
We've seen each other in person. We talk. It's always enjoyable.
He rolled me up, guys. He's too beast.
Yo.
I'm like, don't let anything deceive you.
Hold on. No. Okay, that's not. I'll give the full disclosure now. So the full disclosure I had was when I saw you on the other shows, I actually sent you direct messages of the photos of you interviewing on those shows and said, slut, because I feel like that's an appropriate joke. And then what I'm thinking is, as I watch those other people, and I like those other people, I have no issue with them, is I just think, these people didn't get beat up by you. I did. I deserve an interview. I think if you get beat up by a certain athlete, you should be top of the list.
And that's why I said I would have interviewed you on my birthday. I got you.
Again, appreciate it. But in watching you do those interviews, I did hear you say, a list of injuries that you were going through. Yeah. I do want to ask, was there a concern that maybe you wouldn't fight? Because you did mention, I think in one of those interviews, that you said your doctor had somebody who had a bruised heart that things did not go well for them. So I know there's a lot of like emotions, a lot of things you're trying to compound there, but obviously fighting is one of the more difficult things you can do.
Right.
So where was that fitting in? Because you are the guy who likes to get out there and fight.
So, I mean, I just trusted the doctor when I took it easy when they told me to take it easy. I slowly, went up and the difficulty and like how hard I was pushing my heart when they told me I could do that step by step. And then when they told me I was good to go, like I was like, I can spar, I can roll. And they were like, yeah, go for it. I was like, y'all sure? And they were like, yeah. I was like, all right, that's all I need to hear. I'm like, I'm here to fight. I feel like it's just like, I've always been just drawn to martial arts and like everything. And I like going out there. I like fighting. The only way I'm not going to do it is if someone tells me like, if you do this, you're going to die. I'm going to be like, okay.
Can I get a third opinion?
But the minute they were like, yeah, you're good, you're good now. I was like, all right, time to get back to work.
Was there some trepidation when you went back to first train? Because to me, even if I have clearance, you still may not feel like yourself, or you still might feel maybe a little nervous to do certain things.
I mean, I was more so just nervous about getting hit right in the same spot. And I was just like, and of course, right, first day, the back, actually it's not the first day back. It was like the first spar day. And we're like taking it easy. And then guy throws a teep. And I like, was it a teep? Yeah, I think it was like a teep. And I like, my timing's a little off, I haven't done nothing in a second. And so like I'm a little slow with the little, but it hits me like poof. And then I like take a step back and I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, I was like, okay, no, like, it was, there's just a little sore. So because besides the bruised heart, I bruised the pec muscle, the rib, it just bruised all the way through. Like, I got hit pretty hard. So just like,
yeah.
And so like, I mean, it was a little tender still just from like, bones and muscles take a second.
Yeah.
But I was just like, like I didn't fall down. I didn't feel like my heart stalled. So I was just like, all right, I'm cool.
Again, that's awesome to hear because you can always get over something, but it's sometimes a psychological thing of when you start getting back in and it's like, oh, I don't want to overdo it. Or, you're rolling with somebody and you go, I can't tell them not to put pressure in certain places. Like I can say like, hey, I'm injured here, but you're also fighters. So there's a different code that you guys live by.
Yeah. And then, like I like I said, just fully listened to the doctor. I was like, what's the time frame? When can I do this? When can I do that? And, I trust the doctors. Well, they went to school for it. I'm not going to tell myself when to do it or not. Like, I'm like, especially with something like that, I'm like, all right, so when can I go? As soon as they're like, you can go back, I told Tracy, I was like, all right, I'm cleared to go. And he was like, all right, I mean, even he, though, was like, don't worry about, like, doing too much, Gabe.
Were you nervous, though, when they told you not to watch scary movies? Because that was the one that jumped out to me where I go, okay, well, you're telling me to take it easy, so I probably would watch TV.
Yeah.
If that's the case, am I not laughing either? Like,
yeah.
we're just going to sit there and go, yeah, that's very funny. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, that's when it really was like, like, oh, man, this isn't a regular injury. It's kind of like, the heart's, it's your battery. It's serious stuff. Yeah, so, I mean, but all I did was just like, all right, I'm going to chill. And I just chilled.
Well, I will say that is maybe one of your superhuman strengths that doesn't always get seen because we see you punch kick very well, is that you are so chill and so relaxed. And it is part of the reason why I do enjoy interviewing you so much is that it's no stress, it's no drama. It's just you like the sport of it.
Oh,
if you have the opportunity to make friends with your opponents, you're very friendly, but you're like, we're going to be competitive, but I don't hate you.
It's funny. So I'm going to fight. So my last 2 times I fought for the UFC, I was like running into my opponent all week, and I'm just like bumping in a row here, D-Rod, we both needed a bunch of like physicals and tests and stuff like that. So we're both at the I place together. We're both like that. And the whole time, I'm like trying to be friends, like, hey. But this time I didn't see Johan like at all week. And I was like, it's a little weird. Usually I run into the guy like 6 times by now, but we're there all week and I didn't see him till weigh-ins. And, but they like line us up. I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, like nice to meet you, shake his hand. And I'm like, do you want to do the glove touch tomorrow? No glove touch? Like, like where we at? And he was like, yeah, he just had a smile on his face. I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. He was just like, yeah, he's like, we glove touch? He's just like, as long as you're cool with it. I was like, why wouldn't I be? I was like, yeah, glove touch it up. And then I was like, yeah, I don't get it. Some guys, they just like, they feel like they have to hate the other guy and they can't do the glove touch. I was like, that's not me. Yeah. I was like, we glove touch every round. And he was like, perfect. I was like, I like you.
I'm happy for you because you do get worried. It's like when you have a kid and you go, this kid's going to kindergarten. He's going to say hi to every one of these kids. I hope they all like them. God, you get nervous, so you're not sure. And I go, I'd have to say, I'd love to believe if I was a fighter, I would be like that. Here's the one bad part about me. And there are a few, actually. But one is when I played sports, I used to get really quiet. And I recognized that about myself to the point where my coaches would be like, why don't you loosen up? And I was like, we got to win. And if you talk to me outside of that, goofy, fun, telling jokes, but like would zero in focus. So if I met somebody like you who's so nice, that would be like very like, hey man, this isn't a put on. This is just who I am. I don't know that I wouldn't be like, yeah, okay. So I think about it in that respect where I go, yeah, okay. Everybody reacts a little differently to those sorts of things. So I'm glad you found somebody who said, hey, let's go out there. Let's put on a good show.
No, yeah, I've definitely run into the guys who are on the other side. And I'm just like, you sure we can't be friends?
I really do hope that you go, hey man, what's your Insta? I'm going to send you a note right now. Okay.
I mean, you know what? Actually, he DM'd me after the fight too. And we talked a little bit. He's a super cool guy. I don't know if you, I was so pumped when I won and I like walked around and I like was like, yeah, give my shout out to Jesus one more time, walking around. And then after I was like, what am I doing? Like, let me check on the guy. So I like did like a circle, went back to him and I was like, hey, I try to like tell him, keep your chin up, undefeated first loss, keep at it. But he was a little like, I mean, I get it, you just lost, you don't want people to talk to. So he was a little kind of like get away from me. So I was like, oh, all right, well, sorry, man, I'll talk to you later, But he ended up messaging me the next day and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's a cool dude.
That's super cool to hear because he did seem like a pretty decent guy and obviously had power in his hands. So we'll get to talking a little bit about the fight just in a generic sense because we're going to watch it. But when did this get floated your way? Like when did this fight come into existence for you?
Man, I can't even remember off the top of my head, but I had.
Was it like a couple months ago or was it?
Yeah, no, I had ample time to be like where it was like, because soon as I got like all the way cleared, started training, told them like, hit up Sean Shelby and my manager were like, yo, match me up, I haven't trained in a couple months, like for reals. So give me like at least 8 weeks to like get in shape. And then, then I'm ready for anything. Let me know. Like, and then, but they gave me ample time, more than 8 weeks. I think they gave me like 12 weeks. I was like, oh, cool. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that was perfect.
So you knew he had power going into that. I saw some people ask you about game plan. And what I noticed in my view and estimation was game plan was good, but you in the rounds made some incredible adjustments. And I think you had a big confidence in your ability to break him. Like you had a confidence where you said, I think he's going to start gassing. And I saw your pace. And again, having rolled with you, I know it can be a lot to take in. Like that pressure when you're turning it on, it can really break. And I'm not great, but I don't break a lot. It's just a matter of me going like, oh, everything's getting tighter and getting compressed. So on a small scale, I understand that. But what did you find that surprised you as you were fighting him?
I mean, nothing really crazy as far as a surprise. You know, like my coach was like, go out there, use your movement, make him miss a couple times. You know, like, I mean, I thought I lost the first round. I was like, man, I didn't do. I wanted to move around, but still hit him enough to make sure like I edged it out. But I mean, it was definitely, you know, like let him put the pressure on him, make him work, but don't be an easy target. So I mean, that's what I was focusing on. Going after the first round, came back. You know, Tracy was like, "That's perfect. You know, he's a good first round. You know, it's exactly what I wanted you to do." I was like, "Cool." I was looking at him like, time now, or can I take the leash off the dog? Like, what's up? And he's just like, all right, like pick, like, you know, a little bit more, just a little bit more. Like he didn't want me obviously like just standing and training with him still, because I mean, he hit hard, man. Like, and I swear he just got like his bones are denser than other people's bones, man. Like, cause like it wasn't like, cause I mean he was strong. But I don't think that's where the power came from, like strength. It was just like, you know, if you get hit with a plastic bat, it feels a certain way. Same speed, you get hit with the metal bat just hits a little bit more, it hurts a little bit more. That's the best way to describe it.
I hope you understand what a terrible analogy that is. You'd be like, everyone here
everyone's been hit with a metal
and a plastic bat.
Like, I was just trying to pick something that everyone knew.
Sure. I'm just... You might be giving away some of the things that might have happened in childhood or in streets.
You know, like those squeaky hammers. If you try to nail a squeaky hammer, but then you use a real hammer, where even if you're using the same speed, that's what it was.
That's a little bit better. I just like the idea of being like, hey guys, you know, I'm gonna have to hit you with this bat just so you get an idea.
You guys just don't understand.
But I feel perhaps maybe you had almost those adamantium kind of like bones, because I did see the power and I was like, yo, dude, I respect this guy's power. Clearly he was a favorite of the commentary team, which is always hard to hear because I try to be pretty objective. For my own mental health, I usually turn down the commentary just to kind of extend my life. But it's difficult when it's like one of your boys that they're talking about, because I could hear them on the commentary being like, oh, we're very excited to see his debut. And I was like, and we're excited to see our friend Gabe Green, right? And like, I'm like, oh, wait, that's just me being a dick. He's my guy. Okay, don't get mean. And then I hear them going like, you know, he's just got so much power. I'm just so excited to see what he's going to do. And I was like, and Gabe Green has knocked out motherfuckers too. I'm just saying. So I was trying to keep that in. Yeah. But it was kind of prevalent and good to see him in there, and he was living up to a lot of his expectation. He was giving you a good fight, but then you just started seeing these guys almost, I don't want to say get surprised, but just have that moment of like, oh, Gabe Green is just outpacing him now. And I go, well, look who's come around, commentary
just
team.
Like we planned.
But it was really dope to see. So what about that week? Because again, the fight's a different sort of thing we'll discuss, but what about that week was memorable to you as you were going into it? Was there anything that kind of stuck out? Because I was already starting to see clips of you, you know, doing press and all that sort of stuff, and I was really excited for that because that shit was very different during COVID, but it felt like we're closer to what you really should have. Like, not quite a major crowd, but as you mentioned, more crowd than you've had since 2018.
I mean, I think that my favorite part of like the whole thing was just the fact that there were some people there, you know. I feel like as a person, I'm really in tune with, like, I'm not trying to sound like kooky or anything, but like just energy, you know, like if there's a crowd there, I soak it all in, and it really fires me up. Like I really feel them, like, you know, like rooting for me or whatever, or just like, you know, if I'm turning it really gets me going. And so fighting in an empty, you know, room was really like, it kind of hindered me, you know, like I'm going out there and doing my thing, but when I hear a crowd behind me, I'm like, you know, it's time to
I've seen you come alive with a crowd. I can vouch for that.
Even to the point, you know, it's funny. It's like, you know, I trained my strength coaches. I I'll be like hitting the weights and they measure my numbers, right? The minute like one of my friends pulls out a camera, my numbers go up for just like, boom, boom. You give me an audience, I'm just better. Like, so like, I mean, and that was a small audience. You give me a big audience, better.
Well, we need to make that happen because I understand that when I was doing speech and debate long time ago, I had a speech that I didn't have memorized at all. Like I was trying and I always struggled with memorization. And I remembered they go, I don't think you're ready for our showcase. And I was like, I don't think I am either. They go, well, you better get ready because you're on. And I go, okay. And then I kind of had the memorization, like literally just about to fall off. And then they gave me a crowd full of 300 people. And when that happened, one of the coaches came over to me and they're like, you just came alive and you knew the speech. How? And I go, you gave me a crowd.
Showtime, baby.
Shit happens, man.
Showtime.
When you feel that energy, sometimes those things that you like might flub or you may not be at your best get amplified.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost a fight or flight response where you go, no, I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah. And I told people, I go, yeah, I think they Tinkerbelled me or something. I think I just felt their energy and I was like, oh, I have no speech and I'm back. And I go, damn, dude. So I can only imagine that as a fighter. So when you explain this like connection to a crowd, I understand it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird because there's definitely some fighters that are the exact opposite. They probably prosper they liked fighting in front of no one way more, you know. But no, yeah, me and personally, give me as many eyes as me as possible, and I'm gonna fight better. I don't think I just.
Okay, now I want to say I was a little disappointed that there were other good fights that night because that meant no bonus.
No bonus.
But you mentioned on some other interviews that you do bet on yourself.
I do bet on myself.
Okay. When that happens, like you also mentioned that you have cousins that do this as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah, everyone cashing out on me. It's a great time. Like everyone, like the whole family that came out to Vegas.
Yeah,
free trip, free trip.
Because I think about it and I go, you know what? That sounds like something I would do too. So when you do it, are you looking at like, do you parlay yourself or do you just go straight up on yourself?
I just go straight up. I don't want, like, it's funny because even for this guy, whenever my family asked me, they're like, well, it's like, how do you feel? I was like, second round knockout. And they were just like, I just kept saying second round knockout, second round knockout. And so like my little brother, second round knockout. My cousin, second round knockout. Me, I just put win straight up because I don't know how it's really gonna happen, and I mean, and I don't think that's gonna be in the back of my head if I'm gonna like knock him out. And I was like, you know, let me go. I said submissions. Let me go. I'm definitely gonna just. So I just always put it whenever I bet on myself. I just bet flat. You know, like
understood.
Right, I just know I'm gonna win. I don't know how it's gonna happen for sure, but I'm gonna win. So
well, I tell people, especially in my guys, whenever they're fighting, is I go, don't chase.
Yeah.
Like. If you are trying to bet on yourself, you're going to chase something if you put a certain kind of way to win. Right. So I see the straight up because you're really just literally betting on yourself. Yeah. So to get that return must feel nice. So, the thing that made me mad about it is I had to do the realization when you go, well, if I don't get a bonus, I try to make a little bit of extra coin doing that. And I was like, give them a bonus. Jesus Christ.
I mean, a bonus would have been cool.
It would have been cool. But I think that night you made a lot of people look at your work. And I think that was really cool because to me, I obviously want you to get paid. But I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the next time you get one of those big fights again. You get one of those things that they propel you or they put you on something that's super dope. So maybe we didn't win the bonus battle, but we might win the bonus war in the further. So that was my big hope because when I saw that, I was like, yo, he's looking real good. And then I saw some other things that happened that night and I go, fine.
Yeah, no, we were sitting down watching the rest of the fights and we're just like, the knee bar was cool, but oh man, he dropped him. Dang it. You know, like, but I mean, you know, and then that main event, I was like, well, that's fight of the night for sure. That was a banger.
Yeah. So I feel though, if you ever need a lawyer or someone to lobby on your behalf, I'm more than happy to take up that steed. I will put on a 3-piece suit and be like, my client be knocking fools out. Ooh. And, how do you expect him to knock more people out if you don't pay the man? Pay the man who is giving you highlight reels. Because I'm sure that shit was on ESPN and made some nice rotations for them.
I'm on Twitter and I was just looking and I was like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me go. You know, like, yeah, ESPN posted it. Every UFC Espanol, UFC Canada, UFC, I was getting tagged here and here. I was like, retweet. And I couldn't even see it. They're like, you can't watch this because you're not in the right region. Retweet. And I was just like,
I laughed so hard because, again, the combination of fight and birthday was like you were a retweet machine.
Oh yeah, everything.
And I saw on I have like a news feed that's dedicated to guests of our show. So that it's like my first line of saying like, yeah, we have friends, but if you've been on my show, I try to keep up with what you're up to and what you're doing. And literally you just flooded. I didn't get to see anything that happened to anybody else. Like it was as if this past weekend they didn't exist because I was like,
I think Gabe fought. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I was just, it's funny. I was like, going into the fight, I'm like, I don't necessarily like, or especially like on Instagram when someone has like a super long story, because you're like, all right, skip. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that to my people. But like, especially like when people were posting their reactions, yeah. I was like, no, I was like, I mean, I don't even care. I just reposted. I was like, sorry guys, because like you repost, it stays in your archives. I'm gonna like, a year from now, it's gonna be like, this was last year, and I'm gonna be like, oh man, look at all this cool stuff. So I just, for my own purposes, I say
you won. You get the opportunity to do this. This is some bullshit that you need to get off of real quick, because you're right. These are lost memories. Like some people don't ever get this moment, so you really should celebrate it. And like, to be honest, like when I tag you, it's not to get a retweet or a thing. It's just like, I just want to contribute to that kind of symphony of people that are like, yo, you're my friend. I'm happy for you. But the reaction video that would have been here would have been me with a mop, no shirt, just like mopping and being like,
I would have retweeted that twice.
I'd be like, yo, I'm working to get a little thin, but I ain't that thin yet. So people got to pay extra for that. I just know the premium is, that's exactly what it is. It's like, you're not coming here for interviews. You're coming to see this hot bod. I know. I just laughed because I was looking at you. I said, it's great for you. Obviously, in the post presser, they were very hung up on you being very honest on saying like, yo, I would like to get D-Rod back. Which, great. I think that's a great fight as well. You make a good case, which is, hey, listen, happened at a weird time. I'm a better fighter, in my opinion. I'd like to do it. No disrespect at all.
No.
He's an amazing fighter as well.
Tons of respect.
He's a friend of our show as well. And I love the fact that they matched you up the first time. If it's not D-Rod, have you thought about anybody else? Because I know you've had some time, but it was like, I don't think they let you name other names because they're like, that's a great idea. What about D-Rod? Really do you love him? Do you have him upside your locker? Do you think about him?
He wears higher socks than you? I guess that might be it. That's the real reason, I'll be honest.
Because I thought about it and I said, yeah. But you make a good point, which is sometimes you don't always get it back. So I wanted to put you on that path that gets you that next fight. So if not D-Rod, who else were you thinking?
I mean, I've really not really thought about anything per se, to be completely honest. I mean, whoever they offer me, I'm like, all right, I'll be ready for it. I make sure I'm better every day. Yeah, I've already started training. It's like, I was like, all right, back to the gym. Let's get bigger, faster, stronger than I was before. Let's clean up the little things that I messed up on and make it even harder for the next person.
And I'm really loving the fact that when you mentioned July, I was like, that means he's healthy. That means he's looking to try and fight soon.
Oh, yeah.
And he's trying to get those 2 more fights in for the rest of the year. And I said, I'm supporting that. I want to see it happen because those are 2 more opportunities for fights of the night and knockouts and performances. So I'm thinking like, you know what? We should get you back in there. So that's why I'm like, we should just start dropping names. We should just literally just sprinkle names on top as we go. So that's going to be my challenge to you when you go on these other interviews. These Lessers. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Listen, if you do this job, everybody knows how hard it is. So whatever. But if you do go on other shows, I would implore you to have some other names because I want you to just, even though you're saying like anybody, anytime, any place.
Yeah, you know, because I mean, what it is I mean, I watch fights, but I don't even know off top like a bunch of other welterweights that I could even fight. So it'd be hard for me to even drop a name.
Understood.
I really should be paying attention to more
dude,
people out there.
Just have Tracy put 5 names on your hand.
Is that a mole?
I just think it's a good idea for that in the future. All right.
I can tell you a dream fight of someone who I'd love to fight. This is probably even less likely than D-Rod, but Robbie Lawler. I would love Robbie Lawler.
Yo.
Because I feel like, look, Robbie, super big fan of you know, the brawler Lawler.
I feel it.
You know, he's great, and he's a striker, and he likes to stand and bang. I like to stand and bang. You know, he's getting a little older. You know, I'm still young and sprite. I just, you know, I've just always been a fan. So it'd be like when like Adesanya fought Anderson Silva.
Sure.
Be like, oh, this is like just a dream to fight Robbie Lawler.
But here's what I like about that. There's just no bullshit with Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
He just wants to fight.
Yeah.
He's not interested in like,
I love his walkout.
Fuck this.
Too.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Every time he comes up. But like Robbie Lawler is somebody that you immediately get behind. So you versus him in my head is like, yo, you want to emulate some of the streaks and the runs that he's had.
Yeah.
And at the same point, longevity. Because like, dude, I think I'll die and he'll still be fighting. Is kind of the trajectory.
That's what I'm hoping for. Is I feel like I need like a little more hype behind me before I can be like, yeah, me and Lawler.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't got a big enough name yet. So I definitely want to just, you know, dance with him.
Strange things happen in the sport. So
that's true.
If we put it out there, hopefully it will exist. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a pause. We're going to watch the fight. So if you guys want to see us watch his fight, we ask you to go check us out. You can go to HY.PAGE/GRAPPLINGHOUR. And what we're going to do is when we watch that fight, you'll hear some of his reactions. I obviously won't show you the fight because that's copyright infringement. But we'll give you a marker so that you can actually watch along with us if you care to do that. Or you can just see the reactions on my face, which will tell you exactly what parts we are in the fight. But do you want to give any shout outs to, you know, friends, family members, all the people, the sponsors who helped get you to where you need to be?
You know what? I've been tagging all the people who helped me get to where I go. And I'm just like, yo, that's a lot of people. So it's like, that's what I need a list of from Tracy. Yeah, because, you know, I train out of Subfighter with Tracy Hess, Max Damian, Fernando Vargas, Josh Jones. He's fighting May 20th for Tough Enough. So if you guys, UFC Fight Pass, tune in to watch him. Him and actually one of our amateurs, Josh Vogelsang, both those guys are going to definitely smash. Josh Jones being the main event pro against the Contender Series alumni, so that's going to be super great for Josh, and he's looking good, so really excited for that. And then JV's we call him JV because he's little Josh, even though it's funny because Josh Jones is like 5'8" and JV's like 6'2". So he's fighting to that amateur, so he's going to be a little bit earlier in the day. So yeah, and then, you know, Body Shop guys, Subfighter and Body Shop is almost like the same gym, out of the same place. And then I'm at CMMA now, so shout out to Chad George and David Waters and Victor Henry, freaking Ozzy Diaz fighting the Contender Series coming up too. He's gonna smash. Boom Boom Jim, Bryce Krause with Rising Suns, turning me into a little bit more of a kickboxer than just a regular punchy guy, so he's helped me a lot there. And then Chewy with Raw Talent, helping me, you know, turn my boxing up to an even bigger level. And then two strength and conditioning with Andy and Mark with Elite Smith, all gas no brakes. I just got done training with them right now. Nice. Man, let me see, what is it? And then, you know, Super Rare, Dylan, thank you. Fresh, you guys want this? hit up the store.
It's clean, dude. When I saw you walked in, I was like, yo, I love that because I got super rare gloves in the car. They got super rare pads over this way, so we love them.
It's because he told me he was so I'm Italian. My grandma passed away with Italian. That's why I had the Italian patch on my arm. When I fought, I was like, yeah, I'm repping Grams. Let's go. You know, that's why I couldn't lose for sure. I was like, I'm out there. Come back from the dead for Grams. And then, super rare, Smoke and Fire. Have you ever been to Smoke and Fire?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, I got to take you to Smoke and Fire.
What do they do?
They the best food ever. It's Smoke and Fire.
Describe it to me slowly so that I understand it and can imagine it.
It's like smoked barbecue, so they got ribs and brisket and stuff of that sort. But then they also have like a spicy chicken sandwich.
Let's discuss this. You, me, and another pal of ours have made plans to get together at some point. Maybe that's the place we go.
If Leroy's there, I'm there.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you, you know what's really good is I pitched something to the two of them to go get dinner and drinks. And I had originally envisioned it as like one of these kind of things. Like we can do an interview or something like that. And there was a fight night where you guys both had guys who were fighting and coaching. And it was so cool to walk up and see you guys talking about it and be like, oh, you know that thing? We need to do that thing. And I go, oh, right. Yeah.
We do need to do the thing.
But like, it's to me, like there's a brotherhood of the sport that sometimes gets overshadowed by the pomp and circumstance. And the fact that you guys have fought before would make so many people uneasy. But you guys are big fans of each other. And that makes it so much nicer for me, a person who likes both of you, to get behind those kind of stories where I go, that's so dope.
No, yeah, I'm a big fan of that dude. He's so awesome, and he was telling me he was trying to get back in before the year's over. So man, totally, I'm gonna be there wherever he's fighting. I definitely don't want to miss that show. Boom, boom, boom. Cryo spot for cryo. Nice recovery. Did I get everybody? Do. Super rare. Chimera. Sweatsuits. They gave me a little sauna suit, and I was able to sweat off some pounds for this fight. And I think, and say it's too many. Most importantly, my first sponsor ever, Trini with San Pedro hats, dude. This guy's like just the greatest person in the world. Like he's just been helping. He saw me. I think he started sponsoring after my first fight. I did my first fight. He was like, what the heck? This kid's from San Pedro? Like, how come where's he been? And then he like reached out to my hand and he was like, yeah, like, what do you need? What do you need to help? Like, how can I help you? And then ever since then, he's like, you need gloves? I got you. You need this, you need that. And he's just been just like my freaking angel on earth since like, yeah, cause you know, like we don't, I mean, amateurs, we're getting paid $0, you know?
Amateurs are almost paying to go fight.
And then my first pro fight, I made like 800, you know? So it's like the medicals are more than we're getting paid, you know?
Right.
So yeah, he's just been my little saving grace the entire time. So yeah, Trini, you're the greatest person on this planet. Thank you. I think that's everything for the sponsors.
Well, here's the good news. We're going to do more interviews in the future. I'm not worried about that. So if we ever miss anybody, we'll rebrand it on the next one and it will come back around. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. It's very nice to do this in person because doing it via, the whole link thing or on a phone, it's just not the same. You've got great energy, and when you talk about having good energy that you feel whenever you're going into a fight, we feel it whenever we watch you. So even though there's a part of me that gets maybe a little nervous when I see them going up to you with a live mic and then being like, okay, this is the part I know how to coach. This is the part I'm like, oh, he's going to shout out Jesus? Okay, all good. Just say it. Commit to it. Just say, Jesus is my homie, and go with it, and just do your thing. And then when I heard you be like,
is this the right way?
No.
Because I'm just trying to show respect, but I was like, you know what? At the same time,
you were 100% fine in even doing it. In fact, if you had just committed to it, everybody would have been like, yeah, that's the dude. That's the chill dude that I want to hang with. But when you second thought it, I was like, no, be yourself. Don't be anybody else. Be you.
I was trying to be a little too politically correct.
It's not even politically correct. All you were thinking was, you were thinking of the absurdity of being like, yo, I want to shout out Jesus. Jesus, thank you so much. Blessings upon you, my man. Like, you thought about just how it would sound. And if you were being like, am I a rapper right now? Did I win a Grammy and did I just do one of those things? To me,
right. But I mean, you're right, because like that's what I would say. So I should have just committed.
Just listen. Now you know. Next time when they give you a live mic,
give me the mic. Shout out to Jesus. I'm just
shout
gonna
out
drop
Jesus.
it after that. Just walk away.
Yo, no, don't do that either, because we need to sell the next fight as well. Either way, Gabe, you're a great person. Class act. Couldn't be happier that you won, and I very much appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you for having me. I'll be back whenever you want.
You really will. There's not a choice. I have a setup that I can move and find you. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. Just a reminder, we'd love it if you would subscribe to us at our YouTube page, but we would really love it if you go to our HY.PAGE /Grappling Hour and support the show and become a member. We tried to keep the premium tier and the early access tier at levels that I think are affordable. I really try to produce really good content for you, and we have a lot more coming in the next couple weeks. So I hope that you show up. I hope that you give us some feedback on if you really like a segment or if you want to pitch something. That comes along with the territory if you become a member of the show. All right, that's it. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.